Okay, this is my first ever video. Woohoo! Anyway, what I'm showing you is my kefir. I have a new jar for the new start of kefir grains. This is what I've had up in the cupboard with a tea towel over it for around about 48 hours. It may take a little bit longer depending on the temperature. And what we're after is the whey in the bottom of the kefir, which is milk and kefir grains. So once you get the whey in the bottom of the jar, roughly that amount, your kefir is ready to be strained and the second fermentation process to be started. So I just have a strainer such as this. These are 1.5 litre jars, and obviously a plastic bowl, nice and clean. The idea with it is that you do not wash it up in detergents, you just rinse in hot water and let them dry naturally. I don't even wipe them with a tea towel, reason being obviously contamination. So we'll strain this off. Just give it a bit of a shake to help the kefir milk go through the colander. Put that aside, and what we're left with is the kefir grain. So hopefully you can see that. That then we scoop out with a clean utensil such as a spoon, and we'll put that into the new jar. Any little grains, make sure you get those as well because they do multiply, and you can pass them off to friends once they're big enough so they can start their kefir process and become a lot healthier. Kefir has anywhere between 50 and 60 good bacteria in them. It is the most potent probiotic you can get, and it is so easy to make. So once that's strained off, put this aside. We continue to use the old jar. So what I do there is I pour that back into that jar for the second fermentation process. Again, just make sure you get as much as the kefir out of the bowl as possible. The little lumps that you see in there are actually tiny little kefir grains, and they're actually the most potent kefir that you can have. So once that's done, again put that aside. We grab the fresh milk, we'll just leave that for now. We'll grab the fresh milk with the new jar to start the process again for the first fermentation. And we just have normal full cream milk and fill this up to around about 4/5 full. Just leave a little bit of room at the top. The reason I leave a little bit of room, as you'll see now when I do the second fermentation on the milk kefir that's been in the cupboard for around about 48 hours. I have frozen raspberries which I've crushed up. Generally I'll get 4 to 5 jars made out of one bag. So here we have about $5 worth of raspberries in Australia. You have 1.5 litres of milk kefir of course, and you pour them in there. Depending on your taste requirements, obviously the more raspberries you have, the sour it will be because raspberries are naturally sour. I use just a wooden spoon to stir that through. You can drink it with only this fermentation done, but I like to actually do a second fermentation. You actually get a bit more twang, a lot more effervescence, and it also enables those small kefir grains that are in there to grow a little bit longer, and that is also making it better for you because it's more potent. Now that'll be covered over again for another 12 hours. So it's 7:30 here at night time, so that'll be ready to go in the morning at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. You need to put that into a cupboard up high, well not that high, depending on your temperature in your room. Kefir will die when it reaches over 27 degrees, so don't let it get over 27 degrees. With those frozen raspberries, obviously that's dropped the temperature, so that'll be safe till the morning. Now the new kefir, which I've started with the fresh milk, again we just put a tea towel over it. That'll sit in a cupboard above my fridge because it's winter here at the moment, so to keep that at a reasonable temperature to speed up the process of that, turning that milk into milk kefir. The kefir feeds on the lactose and the sugars in milk. Generally when it reaches that stage it will only be about 1% sugar, and absolutely good, beautiful and very, very good for you. So that'll go up in the cupboard, generally 2 days depending on your temperature or ambient temperature in your house. And once that whey forms at the bottom, which I demonstrated in that one, it'll be ready in 2 to 3 days. So I'm just putting this up in the cupboard now. I'll bring out a jar of kefir that I made earlier today. This is one that I made that has already had the second fermentation process done. As you can see, there is a little bit of whey in the bottom of it, which is okay, nothing wrong with that. Adds to the flavour. And this is just absolutely beautiful. I average around about 500 ml in the morning and another 500 ml at night. It helps you sleep, fixes any bloating that you've ever experienced, coats your colon. It is just so good for you. If you have a glass of this before you go to bed, I will guarantee that you will sleep all night through. It helps your digestion, helps you digest your food a lot better, and cheers.